Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Down on the Sidelines. Here on the away sidelines, it's your boy Matt Carley, aka Matty Icy, repping the Vikings.
I swear, you were about to say your Minnesota Vikings to all of us.
No,
I
no,
was
no,
like,
no, no. I just said
hell no,
your
man.
Vikings.
Got it. Okay. So here on the home sidelines, we got Brendan Retzloff, aka Brandini, Golf, 99 Brett, and we have a special episode for you guys here today. This isn't like your normal episodes with us where we talk about like our predictions or the overall standings. We will have a few predictions though here in this episode.
Yes,
But
we will.
I would like to give a warm welcome to one of our first ever special guest here to begin the 2023 year. He has over 200,000 followers on TikTok. Give him a follow. Check out his YouTube. Check out his Instagram. Any other social media platforms. He'll let me know later. But please give a warm welcome to King's Costumes.
What's up, everybody? Thank you guys for having me. I am on the home sideline again with Brendan, because Packers. I'm repping the Bucks, but,
Let's go.
Let's say you're more into basketball than football.
very into basketball. But recently I've been getting into football. Out of high school, I kind of really started watching football. So I tell some of my other friends like Trevor and stuff. I tell them that, and they're like, "Oh," but yeah, I've been getting into some football lately. But gotta say, kind of disappointed seeing Matt wearing a Vikings jersey.
You've been known this since we've been.
Oh, I know. It still doesn't sit right.
Yeah.
It really never has. But it was super nice at that football game, though, too.
Oh, shut
Oh,
up.
To see the
Shut
Packers
up.
dominate.
I'm sure it was.
We're not going to shut up about that, man.
Yeah, that was a tough one for you, Matt.
That was a very tough one. I think what was it, the third quarter? Brendan posted a TikTok about it. I got so bored. I was like, well, might as well go through Tinder. I'm just going through Tinder. No
Saw
one's
that.
showing up. I'm like, come on.
Might as well find some love while
Might as
the
well.
Vikings are getting destroyed.
Yeah.
And no one was there for him.
Yeah, no one was there. Well, there was a Vikings
Just
fan.
like the Vikings, but couldn't.
Ooh, W.
Yeah.
I'm on that one.
Sorry, Matt. I just had to. Yeah.
Oh, I know. But, yeah, obviously.
It's not as bad as the other things I've said, but go ahead.
No. So, obviously, Cody, if you want to introduce, or King's Customs, if you want to introduce yourself a little bit, what you do.
Yes, sir. So my name's Cody Shaney. A lot of people know me as King's Customs because that's my Instagram handle, TikTok, whatever. And I'm a sneaker customizer. I started about 5 years ago or so, roughly, and it was kind of started off as, seeing an ad on Instagram. It was literally just a sponsor. I was just scrolling through Instagram. I didn't follow this account. I was scrolling through. I found an ad for sneaker paint. Was into sneakers, was into art. Had no background in art, but I was interested in trying to paint. I mean, I like to draw. I feel like everyone likes to doodle, but that's just me. Like, I was always doodling growing up, and never painted, but I thought it'd be cool to combine the two. And there was like some athletes in the NBA at the time that were wearing some cool shoes, and I'm like, how are they getting that stuff on their shoes? And it's like they're pro athletes; they can get what they want. But then I figured out that people were actually painting them. Combine that with the ad, my love for art, sneakers. I gave it a try, and started doing it around my hometown, and it kind of snowballed. Friends wanted shoes. One of my friends, Aaron Clifford, who you guys know, told me to start an Instagram. I did, and from there it just escalated, and now I'm doing some shoes for some pretty high clients. As you guys know, I'm sure we'll get into that. And it's been a lot of fun. So thank you guys for having me, and I'm excited to talk to you guys about it.
Yeah, as you said,
Yeah,
Cody.
we're glad that we could have you.
Oh, we are excited, 2023.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
So I think without further ado, we have some questions for you. Obviously, if you got stories to tell, feel free to, because that's obviously some things that we want to hear as well as the viewers. Well, I guess we'll jump right into the questions. I mean, So like you said, you're King's Custom. So I guess you. So tell us what King's Customs is. Like, what's it about?
I mean, it started off. I mean, I like to paint now, but it's like mainly just sneaker customizing. I do a lot of athlete stuff, as you guys know. I mean, I do tons of basketball shoes, but it doesn't just have to be basketball. Like, I get a lot of questions. Can you do football cleats? And I've been starting to do some of that now. It can be soccer cleats, any type of cleats, really. Even casual shoes. Like, I do casual shoes, but it's just basically sneaker customizing, which a lot of people, I mean, it sounds so normal to me, but a lot of people wouldn't think like painting sneakers, like what's that?
Mm-hmm.
It's literally just acrylic paint. It's like a specialized acrylic paint that I use, but it's painting, it's literally artwork on shoes. And I sell it all around to tons of clients around the world. Most people just hit me up in like the DMs now, or I got my emails out there. I mean, I get phone calls, just a bunch of different things. But yeah, sneaker customizing business that I run all by myself right now.
I want to say that's super impressive. Like, it's not like you and like a team. It's like it's only strict to you. Like,
Everybody, man. I'm the media
it's
guy, the
it's
Yeah,
editor.
crazy.
that's crazy.
It's
It's
a lot.
crazy how you can handle all those roles. But um, how did you come up with the name King's Customs? I'm sure a ton of people are curious about that.
Honestly, I'm pretty sure. I was thinking about Instagram. I was talking to friends about it, and I think I, this is like a vague memory, but I think Trevor Molitor told me the name in like a locker room, like in a basketball locker room or something. He's like, what if you called it this?" And that's like a really vague memory. I always try to, maybe he would remember it, but like I was trying to think of it, and I think like he came up with it or like he suggested it, and I was like, oh, that sounds cool. And at the time, I wasn't really thinking like, oh, this is gonna be big or this is gonna be
Mm-hmm.
this, and I was like, I kind of like that name, so I went with it, and I just never changed it, and I still like it today, so I use it, and it's kind of become a big thing. So it's like, yeah, it was a pretty. I honestly I don't even remember the time where I was like I really need to lock in on a name, like I need to figure this out. It was kind of just a hobby, so I was like it's not that big of a deal. I'll make an Instagram page, but it's like it's not gonna be like something huge. It wasn't like my intention. I was like this would be something cool to do, and I'm pretty sure he suggested it to me, and I just the next day I made the Instagram, and it stuck, and then he made me my logo too. So
Oh, solid.
So that was back in 2017 then. So like that's when you got the name and everything just like came together.
wait, 2017 is okay. So it was end of 2017. It was probably like December 2017. So like mainly 2018. But yeah, 2017 was when I was because I remember I started doing it. I was maybe 3 weeks into doing it, and that's when people started saying like, "Oh, maybe you should start taking orders, or maybe you should start, posting your work." And to me, I was like, I guess, like, sure, I guess I'll start posting my stuff. And that's when I came up with the name, or Trevor helped me come up with the name. But, and then, yeah, it stuck from there, and I never changed it and haven't looked back since.
That's it's crazy how something so small can like not intentionally like turn so big. I mean,
Yeah, like I said, there's no intention. There was no, like, I want this to be so big. That's how I am now. Like, I obviously want to
hmm
keep growing it now. But at the time, I wasn't taking it that serious. Like, just something I thought would be cool to try. Get a few cool clients. I always followed this one guy on Instagram who was doing like NBA stuff. I was like, wow, if I could do that one day, like that would be the coolest thing ever. I hope I get as good as him. I hope like, and now I look at myself as like in the same category as those guys. So
yeah. I
So
mean,
was it that guy who inspired you to like do all that stuff, or did it have to do with like your friendships that you had, or like your family, or
I guess
just go over that?
yeah, I guess I would say it was a combination of everything, and it's just so long ago that I don't even remember how it came about because it wasn't like a big passion of mine at the time. But I just know that I started doing it because I always liked shoes. My main thing was I always liked shoes. Like I could pick out any shoe on a basketball court, tell you what it was. I loved wearing basketball shoes and Jordans and whatever. I always liked shoes, and then when I saw that it was that ad that first, you know, made it click in my head. I saw that ad and I was like, that'd be really cool to try. Like, how cool would it be to change the color of my shoes? You remember when we used to like Nike ID shoes on Nike? You could change the color. I don't know if you guys ever
oh,
did
I
that, but you
remember
could like
that. Yeah.
you can pick and choose the colors on like the different panels. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
you guys have done that.
I never got to do that. Was that just on their website
Yeah, it
or?
was just on their website. So, excuse me. On Nike, they came out with this thing called like Nike ID, and you could like mix and match colors on like popular shoes, and then Nike would make it, and it would take a few months for that shoe to come in. So you'd always do it like months before the season. They're really expensive, so I actually never did it as a kid. I know my brother had a pair, but me and my basketball friends, we would always like do that, and like I thought, how cool would it be if I could actually just do that myself, like paint the shoe, and then it kind of, I mean, I started seeing that guy who was doing those NBA shoes. I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool. So, I guess a combination of all different things going on for shoes, seeing other people doing it, and then friends and family telling me to go ahead and start posting stuff and taking orders.
Wow, that's really cool how all of that came to be for you. Matt, do you want to jump into the next question?
Yeah. Next question is, I mean, you kind of touched on it a little bit, a little earlier, but what year, like, you start? I know we brought up 2017. That probably would have been our sophomore year or end of our freshman year. So you said that.
Um, Probably sophomore year. Does that sound right for us?
I think we were sophomores
Mm-hmm.
at the time. I
I'd
think
say
so.
sophomores. Yeah, it would have been sophomores.
Oh, good lord! It's
No,
already been
I
5
was
years.
Or no, would have that been freshman year for us?
I was
Because
15. I'm an April baby, so I was 15. I think you both are older.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think
Brendan's the
a little bit
oldest.
older.
yeah,
Brendan's the oldest.
So I'm
yep.
April. I don't know. I'm
So
whatever.
you were
We're freshmen.
15.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
15 when I started. Turned 16
yeah,
4 months after, so that probably would have been sophomore, because then I got
that
my
must
license.
have been
Yeah.
sophomore. Yeah.
4 months after starting this, I got my license. That's when I turned 16, so probably sophomore.
Yeah. Okay.
Sophomore year, it was 2017 in December. I have like pictures of my Snapchat memories. That's how I can go back and check. And it's like the first time I started taking pictures, I would just like snap the memory on my phone
Mm-hmm.
and I would save it. And that was like December like 8th. It really like that was my first snap memory of it. And it was like my first pair of shoes I was working on or my desk setup. And then that's when I was just messing around. I was doing I did my brother's shoes, then I did my cousin's shoes, and then I did another one of my brother's shoes, and then I did Aaron's shoes, Aaron Clifford's shoes. Um, and then that's when people were like, "Wow, this is getting cool. You should start doing my shoes. You should do my shoes at high school." Like everyone was like, "You should do these." And then I started taking it more serious, I guess. Still wasn't serious, but that would be into 2018. So, like 2018 to now was when I started going at it pretty much.
Yeah.
Can you believe that you've been going for over 5 years already?
No,
Because
it's crazy.
that's literally like a quarter of our lifetime
Right.
already. And it's super weird to think about that.
So it's when
So
I look back at it, I'm like, wow, it was 5 years ago, and now I look at it like I was 15, like pretty much 16. I'm like, wow, that's when I started this, and now I'm 20. I'm like,
Good
yeah,
lord.
it's hard. You look back at it, I'm like, wow, that's pretty crazy that I started so long ago and stuck with it for so long. 'Cause there was like for me, it was never really like a break. Like I never took time off of it, if I'm being honest. There was times where I was more busy with school or sports and I wasn't working as hard as it, but I was always pretty consistent in like painting. I never really took many days off of painting or like if I didn't paint during the week, I'd be weird. I'd paint after school or after practice or something. So
I mean,
I mean,
speaking
I
of
wouldn't say it would be weird anymore because look at how successful you've
thank you.
gotten to. Yeah, go ahead, Matt.
I mean, speaking of shoes, I know Brendan, you have a little something I think you kind of want to show the crowd a little bit right now.
Yes. So Cody actually ended up doing a pair of shoes for me. I want to say it's already been a year and a half. It's almost been 2 years actually since
Like
like I told you the idea
Mhm.
of like what I wanted. So yeah, Cody ended up pinning a pair of shoes for me. I'm a big time golfer, That's why I'm called Golf to a lot of people. And he actually inspired me to start my own TikTok page. This was back in April of, it must have been 2021, where I ended up going to your house and I dropped off the shoes for you.
Right
And
here.
yes, and you told me a great start when it comes to like spreading out like social media content was through TikTok. And I was like, okay, I had TikTok in the past. I was a little sus about it because of like the Chinese government thing or whatever that was going on with it.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, Cody told me about that. I was like, okay, interesting. And I remember specifically you told me there's a guy who's popular because of a loaf of bread. Like all he does is slices bread. I'm like, okay, if he can do that with bread, I should be able to do something with golfing. So he ended up painting a pair of cleats for me.
Keep those
Splatoon
babies
themed.
pretty clean, huh?
Absolutely. Gotta keep them clean, man. So um I think that these are the coolest pair of shoes that I've ever owned. I
That's
wish I
awesome.
could wear them like daily, but since they're cleats, can't really do that. But still looking to get my first hole in one with them. So I want to thank you again for doing those
Absolutely.
for
That was
me.
definitely a fun pair to do. It's fun to work with you
Yeah,
on.
I may
First time doing
have.
that theme too.
that's right. That was your first like video game theme type
Yeah.
of shoe. So it felt pretty special. Yeah.
I may have a pair of cleats I may want to send to you, Cody. So I know the viewers know.
Football?
Yeah, so I'm actually playing football this summer. I'm walking on to Lakeland at this fall. So
Awesome.
right now. Actually, I'll show you the cleats I got.
You've done all sorts of things. Wrestling. Didn't you do track somewhere? Am I wrong on that?
Um, I think he did cross country at Lakeland for a
Huh?
while.
Yeah. So right now we are
Uh,
rocking with my brother's old cleats that I'm still using. They're actually soccer cleats, but
Mhm.
it's what I could scavenge up as of right now. But I'm looking to get some like new pairs, so probably send some your way once I get them.
Awesome. Yeah, man. Just hit me up when you're ready.
Sounds good. Oh, there's a bucket under my
okay,
desk.
I just want to talk about the fact how you guys have like nicer and more organized looking backgrounds than I do. Mine's so freaking boring. I have nothing going on here.
I mean,
I'm gonna
you
shop
have my
stuff.
TV. We're gonna ignore this.
You got more action going on in the
Yeah,
background
you have my
then.
closet. You have my closet. You got my room. I mean, basically where I do all my
Got
work.
I got the cabinets and the shoe boxes.
Pretty nice. I see the King's Customs logo
Oh
in
yeah,
the top right
Oh
corner.
yeah, there it is.
Bucks King's Customs. I want to paint
Isn't it,
that actually.
isn't that your bedroom too?
Yeah, my bed's on the other side.
Wow.
Yeah. So your bedroom is literally your studio.
Yeah, I'm in here quite often. Got a TV, got a heater, got my signed jerseys. I gotta get some stuff framed, but I got some signed jerseys just hanging up on it because I'm in the garage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Brennan at least
Yeah.
can. So along the where the garage door would come up, I just have jerseys hanging on coat hangers. I want to get them
That's
framed,
sick.
but
So
yeah.
you're gonna frame them. Yeah. What type of jerseys you got up there? If you want to show us, you can. But I mean, if you
Turn
can't,
around. Let me just grab them.
I mean, sure, why
okay.
not?
Oh, I see a shoe in the back.
Oh yeah, he's working on one.
He's working on something there. Oh, he's got a Giannis bobblehead too in the back.
Oh yeah, I do. Big Wisconsin sports fan.
Oh, good
I'll
lord.
just show you. This is just an Air Force I'm working on right now. This is
I,
somebody's like skyline logo. I have to finish it. Got to put his. It's like a brand, but these are his colors. It fades from yellow to orange.
Those are sick.
Pretty simple pair, but I'm not done with them yet. All right, we got a lot of jerseys. First,
Nice.
sure we'll get into these players, but Halliburton. This one's
We'll,
signed.
we'll talk about him a little bit too.
I'll wait to show these because some of these are more players I've done. Should I wait to show you guys these?
I mean, yeah, we have a
We'll ask you
question.
about athletes. Yeah.
When we get to athletes, I'll show more of this stuff.
All right, just keep them on hand.
My audio cut out. I'm gonna get it back.
I got a few things that I got signed by different athletes.
All right, I guess we'll go on to our next question. I mean, what prompted you to start your business? I know you kind of just said like this was a hobby. I mean,
I think you cut out for a second.
Oh,
or
my
at least
bad.
on my end, you did.
So our next question is like, what kind of inspired you to do it? Because I know you said earlier that it was originally a hobby, and now it's obviously huge. It wasn't supposed to be huge, but now it is.
So, yeah. So, like, what inspired you to create it as a business rather than just a hobby?
So the transition from hobby to business was kind of just, what's the way to put this? Fluent, I guess. It just kind of happened. As I was posting on Instagram, started getting more views. Some videos started like, you know how Reels kind of came about. Reels started to be more popular.
Mm-hmm.
You know, posting Reels started getting some organic stuff early on, and then Instagram plays with their algorithms. But besides that, kind of just grew. You know, when I finally, and this has to do with an athlete, if I can speak on it now. One of the athletes that blew me up.
Go ahead.
Go right ahead.
Tyrese Halliburton, who now plays for the Pacers, lived in Oshkosh, right next to your guys' hometown. And when I started painting for him, I reached out to him because I knew he was going to Iowa State. So I reached out to Tyrese. I said, "Can I do some shoes for you before you go play college basketball?" I thought it'd be cool to do some college athletes, you know? I started getting better. And I was like, it'd be really cool to start getting the college people, like college players. I was thinking college before like pros, because that's a little bit easier. And having Tyrese right next to me, 15 minutes away from me, I texted him. And Tyrese literally answered me like an hour later and said, "Yeah, I can drop off a pair of shoes tonight. And if they're cool, I'll post you on my story." And he showed up at like midnight one night. Like I was literally just shooting hoops outside my house. And I was just waiting for him to show up. And he shows up with a few of his buddies. Drops off a pair of shoes. I paint them as quick as I can, you know, because I want to, you know, I was so excited about it. Wanted to get him back. He was leaving for Iowa State, actually, to go play basketball his freshman year. He was leaving within like a week or two. So I was like, all right, I'm going to do these, get him back to him. I did that, got it back to him. Did another pair like 2 days after that for him because he wanted one more pair before leaving. And he posted me, and this is kind of a long story on how it changed to a business, but when he posted me, it kind of blew up, started getting lots of followers. I was maybe before him, maybe like 200, 300 after him, like 1,000 right away, like, you know, pretty big jump.
Wow.
Quite a big jump, yeah.
Well, yeah, at the time I wasn't like, you know, me just expecting just a few, you know, whatever, not expecting a whole lot. When he started posting, I think he just posted on his story and said like, shout out King's Customs, go check him out. I started getting like orders. People were ordering local, and then my first out-of-state order came in from Illinois. It was my first time doing out-of-the-state, and from there I was like, wow, someone from out of the state wants to send me a pair of shoes. I paint them, and then I send them back to him. Like, that's nuts to me. And now it's what I do on a regular. But from there, you know, as it's, you know, building up, you have to claim taxes if you're starting to make a certain amount. I got around that point, and it was just natural. Like, I had to start a business then. And, again, snowballed, and here we are. I know that's my answer to a lot, but it's just like kind of transitioned. It transitioned from, yeah, you know, I might try this out, trying it out. People wanted me to make an Instagram. Instagram started doing good. Business started happening. Needed to make an LLC. And here we are.
Like, just imagine you have a basketball player tell you that, like, a great basketball player, somebody who has a lot of followers, who says, like, okay, if these shoes suck, I'm not going to say anything about you or anything.
Like, oh.
That must have put a lot of pressure on you, and I'm sure that, like, you had a lot of challenges in the type of environment that you had at that time too, right?
Right, and I knew Tyrese was like a good guy. Like he didn't mean anything rude by it. He just said like he said if they're cool, I'll post them. And I know he didn't mean anything rude by it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it to me, it was like okay, they'll be cool. Like I'll make them cool. But it was definitely like, wow, he's giving me a pair of shoes. Like, and if I mess up, I messed up one of his shoes. It's got to be hard going back to someone saying, yeah, I messed up your shoes. Um, Especially someone of a high clientele. And but they turned out cool, and I got him to him, and he loved them, and obviously that relationship is still there, that friendship, and took me to the NBA. So
That's crazy.
That's a very neat story, man.
thank you.
Yeah, so moving on to one of our next questions. So we've kind of talked about like what prompted your business. What are the challenges that you have to deal with when it comes to running your business and being the only one who does the painting, the social media, the marketing, like just everything that has to do with it?
You pretty much hit the challenges on the head. Having to do it all is absolutely the hardest part about it. Is you try to stay on schedule, or I try to stay on schedule, but I'll be editing a video that I hope only takes me 15 minutes to put together, and it takes me 30 or 45 minutes, so there I'm behind on my day. Or I plan out a shoe to be like a day long project, and it ends up being a 2 or 3 day, just because complications, you run into things while you're working or whatever it is. But the biggest thing is just I take in the clients, so I'm answering the messages. I'm talking with those clients, so it's not like just I'm sending you shoes, here's the money, let's do a shoe, whatever. Sometimes it's easier, but I have to talk to these guys, have a conversation with what they want to do. um, you know Being in business too, you want the best image you can be, so I do deal with like people that are more like picky, and you know how it is when you're doing business or whatever. But just having to do that on top of actually painting the shoes, on top of editing and recording the videos, and then getting good photos after you're done, and then packaging them up, and then running to the post office, and then repeating that the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And I mean, it sounds like I'm complaining, but I'm not. It's a lot of fun, but it is definitely the challenge of it, is having to do it all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how the hell you do it. I mean, with me, I don't know. I don't think I would be able to do that. I mean, obviously, if you keep on growing up, I probably smartest thing is like, oh, here's an editor, here's a social media guy.
Right.
Like, I
Right.
honestly, that's the plan. I hope so. I mean, if you just plan on doing this for by yourself, I don't know how you do it. I give props to you that you do everything by
Depends. There's
yourself.
different ways I can go about it, but I can definitely look into people who like will I'll send the clips to the raw footage, and they'll edit it and put it together and send it back. But right now I'm doing good. I'm liking doing it on my own. But I guess as we were talking, I thought of another big challenge that I'd like to talk on a little bit. Is social media is also a pretty big challenge, because social media can be a lot, especially if a video does well. This one kind of just came to me because, like anyone's listening, doing social media or whatever, social media can be hard, because you become, when you put something out there, you don't know what the feedback's gonna be. And I've had things that I've put out there that I've had comments that are rude, and then you look at the other comments and they're really nice. But as humans, we tend to focus on the negative. It's not good. I'm saying we shouldn't, but um, putting stuff out there and being vulnerable to receive feedback, you never know what you're gonna get. That's just part of it. I've had videos get millions and millions of views, and I have sat behind comment sections and read. I do read a lot of my comments. I mean, I don't read them all because there's a ton there, especially TikTok. But for every, I'd say, 100 positive comments, there's like one negative, and even with that, it's hard not to focus on that negative comment. So, advice to anyone listening that's trying to do social media is like don't care about the comments at all, or the views. Like if you're doing this too, and you're like, 'cause I'll take a lot of time on a video, I'll post it, And even with 200K followers, I mean, the TikTok algorithm doesn't always put that out to your followers. So I might still get like 2,000, 3,000 views, and I'm like, come on, I got 200K followers, and I'm only getting that many views. But I would say putting out content, that's another challenge, is just putting out content and receiving the feedback from the algorithm and the followers. But the best thing is just to keep producing content, because you never know what video is going to change your life or what video is going to propel you up. Because I honestly was skeptical, kind of like Brendan said earlier about starting a TikTok. I had TikTok, spent too much time on it, deleted it because I was like, I put too much time into this app. And then one of my older brothers, Jacob, the one right above me, said, "Why aren't you posting your stuff on TikTok?" So I started doing that. But yeah, that's another challenge, is posting on social media and receiving the feedback.
Yeah, obviously, I know I try to make it big as a content creator. I mean, obviously, like you said, like just having like the schedule, just being on time. Like, okay, I got to post by this time. I got to post by this time. I got to get a video up by this time. I mean, a lot of people like will say, "Oh, I mean, obviously, I have roughly around like 700 followers on TikTok." So when I see a view that gets like 200 or 300 views, honestly, like decimates me. Like, oh well, I thought this would have been a lot bigger, but honestly, like the algorithm is gonna to have a big factor. Like it basically depends. Like, oh, what's trending? Like, is this trending? Like, if you're using like the
Right.
correct hashtags.
To me, it's like you can't even focus because the algorithm's always changing. And with being on social media for a long time, I've realized that, some of the worst videos I put out there will get millions of views, and some of the best videos I spend the most time on get like 12 views. Like, you literally just, as a content creator, you just got to put out content and try your absolute best. And I say this because it's really hard to not focus on the comments or the views. And once you post something, you should already be focused on posting your next video, or whatever you got lined up for the next day. Because you should be posting like once a day, which is also really hard because there's some people that say you should be posting TikToks 3 times a day, which I can't even keep up with, so I don't even do. My goal this year is 1, 2 times a day, but there'll be streaks where I'm like, wow, I haven't posted in like a week because I've just been so backed up on, orders or whatever. But you just go as you can, really. As a content creator, you try your best to put out content, but it's hard not to focus on, views. People are
Yeah,
bad.
I totally understand your struggles as a person who does golf content in the state of Wisconsin. Keep in mind, um, it it's only like the springtime through like the end of the fall time where I could like make anything that I can. But then when it comes to winter, everything kind of just dies down. But like I'm also working on trying to post at least like once every 2 days. And
It's even hard to
some of-
do that.
yeah, and some of the things that I post now, they don't even really have to do with golfing as much. It's kind of just like fun things going on in life. And then once it transitions to the golf season, that's when
Right,
I would
right.
get into that. So yeah, that's some really good advice for the people who are listening, that you
Like I
don't
say
want to
that,
take the
I
negative.
s- right? I say those comments with like the absolute like you know I sound like I know what I'm talking about because I'm just from experience. But like even myself, it's hard to listen to that stuff. Like I'll still see a comment, I'll be like, "Oh, that was rude," or "Why did they have to say that?" And it'll kind of, I mean, it does eat at me, but as you get more of those comments, you realize you're doing something right if you have people being hateful on your posts or whatever. And I do say for every like 100 like positive comments, there's just like one negative one. 'Cause, like most of my stuff is positive feedback, but you'll get that every now
Mm-hmm.
and then.
You'll always get the haters. The haters are gonna hate on people,
But
but
most famous people in the world have their haters, so
absolutely,
look at it
I
like that.
I 100% agree with you on that.
Yeah.
So going into our next question, off of the after the challenges, um, what is it that like keeps you motivated in your life and keeps you motivated to like keep running your business?
Honestly, just the love for actually doing what I do. It's pretty strong and has never really died out. I mean, there's a one time, maybe a little bit, but I haven't really ever gotten burnt out myself. I like to create. It's like literally what I love to do, and it shows with what I put out. But I love to create. I've even fallen in love with putting out content. But I just love what I do, so it's pretty easy for me to stay motivated. Big projects that come about that I've done have also, you know, at times made me more positive because I'm like, wow, if I got to this famous person, like, why couldn't I do another famous person, or why couldn't I do this? So I would say the love for it, and one other thing is like the potential I feel that is behind it. I'm one that does not like to waste potential. I hate like wasted potential, and if I feel like something can be big, I would do anything to not waste that. So those are two big things for me that keep me going.
I'm just gonna add one thing. Does it feel like work for you, or does it just feel like, oh, it's something I get to do every day that I enjoy doing?
Different parts of it, since you guys know I like run a bunch of it, like different parts feel like, oh, I'd rather do the painting part than have to answer this like all these emails or whatever. But for the most part, like how can you complain, you know? Like I feel like I'm doing what I love. Um, yeah, some parts aren't as fun. Like I hate packaging stuff up, but like how can you complain when you're just packaging up
Hmm.
an order to send out, you know?
I bet my mom would volunteer to do packaging because
Like
she loves
packaging.
doing that for
I know
some
there's
reason.
people out there that like to package and wrap gifts and do all that stuff. It's just not for me. So like things like that, I'm like, yeah, that kind of sucks in the day, but most of my day is spent actually doing the work, like artwork or editing content, which I've also gotten pretty I've taken a liking to editing content because I like to put stuff out there. So
Yeah, if you can see work being as an opportunity over something that's like, I have to go to work instead of
right,
like saying I can go to work or I get to go to work.
absolutely,
That's a pretty special mentality to have. So
absolutely.
I guess we'll move on to our next question. Um, what is your proudest moment? I guess for you, like for your business
Oh boy,
now. I mean,
oh boy, that one's
you probably have like five you can just rattle off right now.
I honestly have one that still sticks out to me, and that's still the story I told Tyrese though. Um, that was a big milestone on the transition that we talked about earlier. I don't think I would have been as far along. I definitely still would have made it to this point, but I don't think it would have been as, quick or as fun because as soon as I got to Tyrese, um, I'd just say my friendship and connection with him is probably one of my biggest like proudest moments. I guess I think that's kind of broad for the moment type, but yeah, making a connection with him and taking that from right after he graduated all the way to the NBA. I mean, through college, through the NBA, and then finally doing that pair for him and watching him wear that elf pair I did for him. It was the first NBA shoe he wore of mine.
I remember
I mean, he
that
wore one
pair.
preseason, but that was the first NBA game. I mean, Devin Booker was guarding him. So to see a picture of Tyrese wearing my elf shoes after so many years of knowing him and working with him, my favorite picture is it's Tyrese being guarded by Devin Booker, and they're like the shoes are right there. There's Devin Booker. There's Tyrese. It was just surreal because one couldn't believe Tyrese was in the NBA, being from Oshkosh. So it was definitely like kind of a Wisconsin like collab. I kind of felt proud that two guys from Wisconsin, one guy made the NBA, the other guy's creating his custom shoes. It was kind of I would say as I'm talking about it, that's definitely proudest moments for me.
do you have a picture of that like hanging somewhere in your room? Because you said that it sounds like you want to make that as like something you want to hang up in your
Trust
room
me,
as
I
a
have
proud
wanted to
moment.
print out many pictures. I wanna fill these walls. They're full, but not. I have room, so I want to hang up jerseys. I also want to print out like canvas pictures of like Tyrese wearing my shoes or all these other guys. But yeah, it's not up in my room, but I definitely should get some stuff hung up. I should
Uh,
get on that.
just a little follow up question. How did you meet Tyrese? Was it just through like basketball, or was it, like through your brothers because maybe they were friends, or how did you guys actually meet?
Didn't know him at all. I didn't know him. I just knew of him. I'm sure you guys knew of him. Um, Just knew that he was playing ball at Oshkosh North. Knew he was really good. Knew he committed to Iowa State. Was watched him a couple times in high school. Never played against him. He was 2 grades ahead of us. Never played against him because Amra doesn't play North. Never played him in tournament ball either. But just knew he was good. Reached out to him. I'm like, wow, it'd be cool to do someone D1 college basketball player, potentially could make the league. But then all of a sudden he blew up at college, and I just reached out. I literally DM'd. It was a cold DM. I sent him a DM, said, hey, I'm from Amro. Obviously he knew where that was. I said, if you want to do some shoes with me, that'd be cool. And he just responded. Told you he dropped off the shoes, and we went from there.
That's sick.
So I have a big what if question for you now. What if Tyrese did not respond to that DM? Where do you think you would be?
I still think I'd be doing good. But I definitely would have lost out on a lot of cool moments for myself. So no doubt I think I could have grown this. He was a big part in helping me out, but I definitely, over time as I got better, I knew I would have hit more clients on my own. But I definitely would have missed out on a lot of cool moments, like seeing my shoes on TV very early into doing shoes, like very early. Like only a year into doing shoes, he was wearing my shoes against playing at Iowa State, and I would watch him on the TV. I wouldn't have been able to see that. And who knows? I mean, maybe it wouldn't have been as motivating if I wasn't doing a pretty cool player's shoes. And with that media attention came other opportunities. So the what if, it would be really crazy to know. I mean, it could have been many different things going on, but I'm definitely happy I got to do that.
Yeah, I guess we'll move into our next question. I mean, you're from Wisconsin. I think we all know the answer to this. But your favorite football team, like you said, you're starting to get more into football now. It was
Yes,
Brendan
sir. Packers,
is
baby.
yeah, there
You
it is.
know it, man. Okay,
only-
who's your second favorite football team behind the Packers?
Vikings.
Oh, that's a good question. I do like Joe Burrow. I don't know why.
Let's go.
I do like Burrow.
That's my 1 and 2.
I'm a very big, outside of the Packers, even this goes for basketball too, outside of the Bucks, I'm a very big player guy. So if it's not my home team, I'm just really into like good players. So like I like Josh Allen too. Like I love watching him. And so Bills is a fun, team to watch. But I guess I don't have second favorites. I'm just a big player guy. Like I love watching good players play, It's so much fun to watch.
I mean, I don't blame
Absolutely.
you.
So yeah, players like Mahomes, Allen, Burrow.
I just think Burrow, yeah.
Yeah.
Rodgers, yeah.
I don't know what it is about Joe Burrow. I'm a super huge fan
Joe
of Burrow
Burr.
I like
as well.
I like the Bengals jerseys too, so
Bro, their whiteout
They're
jerseys are
pretty
so
nice.
sick.
I think they're cool.
Oh yeah.
My second favorite team is the Bills, because ever since when the Vikings traded Diggs away, I was like, oh, I still like Diggs, so I'll
I can tell
still
you my
watch
least
it.
favorite team too.
Well, no, we're not gonna go there. We're not gonna go there. We're not gonna go there.
That's
Damn
below
it.
me. I don't know about you guys on your screen, but
Yeah, I'm
He's
below
below me,
you.
too.
Yep, I'm on
Below
the
me.
bottom. Nah, but
'Cause the
Ever
Vikings
since,
are
like-
on the bottom.
oh, shut up. No, but ever since like Diggs went to Buffalo, like you said, I was like a big player name, so I like Diggs a lot because of everything, Minneapolis Miracle and all that. So when he went to Buffalo, I was like, oh, I'll support him there. And I was like, oh, I kind of like Josh Allen now, and I could just start slowly starting to like the whole
it's
Bills
hard
team.
not to just like good players. Like as soon
I
as you start
know.
watching these good players, it's like so much fun to watch. I just love watching good athletes go to work. It's so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess-
So
Brandon,
Now-
yeah, take it away.
now that we've gone over that, we're gonna talk about what athletes you've gotten. That's when you can show us the jerseys that you have. So like, who have been your biggest clients?
So obviously we've talked about Tyrese a lot. First college athlete I worked with was Tyrese Halliburton, who got drafted to the Kings and then went to the Pacers because the Kings traded him away because they're dumb. And then right away, I think I just figured this out last night actually because I was making a TikTok video. 6 months in, I think, or maybe it was nine. 9 months in, I got to paint for Thon Maker, who was on the Bucks, NBA player. Uh, wrote a thing on his story, and he was like, "I need a shoe customizer." I just slid up, and I was like, "Okay, I'd like to do shoes for you. I'm local. Can I?" So then I got to Thon. That was pretty cool because I got to see my shoes on. So this is where I say I got to see Tyrese first because Thon was just a preseason game or like it was like you know how they do like the scrimmage events where team like player or fans, my bad, fans can come watch. It was just like a green and cream, I think they called it, scrimmage. He wore my shoes and someone got a picture of it and posted it. But first NBA was Tyrese when he made the NBA. And then from there, I got to do a few other Kings players. Daquan Jeffries, who was on the Kings. I did get to do shoes for Giannis, but that one's very to me because I don't know if he actually got them.
Oh.
So and I did them for him. I was working for the Bucks, doing a pair for the Bucks president, who I got to meet. And then, unfortunately, Giannis, I was like trying my best to meet Giannis. Obviously, who wouldn't? And Giannis was in Greece with the rest of the team celebrating the championship. So it was right after the championship, and I gave the shoes to the president, and then I got a text like a couple months later saying I gave them to Giannis. But I didn't get any like picture or any approvals. So that one's like cool because obviously it's cool, paint for Giannis. But I do like when I have like a receipt, you know, him wearing them, him holding them, him whatever, and then that kind of snowballs into Jason Tatum. I got to do shoes for as well. Didn't get to meet, but was giving them to someone who worked for the Celtics, and then he gave them to Tatum pregame, and I have a picture of Tatum holding them. So that one's pretty cool. Another NBA player, Pat Connaughton, who I met the day I met the Bucks president. Got to do a pair of shoes for him. Got to talk to him for a little bit. Going by sport, so I'm thinking NBA. That's probably all.
I mean, for NBA, I'm not a big NBA guy, obviously. I wrestled for 15 years. Yeah, it's more football for me, as obviously I wrestle. But, I mean, yeah, I know Giannis, I know Tatum, like Tyrese. I remember watching him in the state finals on TV. Right. Like, those are the guys I really know, like, kind of like the other guys you don't. Like, you said, I was like, who are they? Like, I don't really know them, but that's still
other
amazing.
Other guys are just kind of, like, not as big guys. Like, those were just big players, like Giannis, Tatum. Pat Connaughton's the Bucks player who's like a 6th, 7th man. Was injured last season or in the beginning of the season, so he hasn't really been playing much. But yeah, he's a bench player, but he's pretty good. Thon Maker, also Bucks player. So lots of Bucks players, which is cool, because big Bucks fan. Snowballing into the NBA or the NFL, my bad. NFL, I got to do shoes for Derek Nadier or Nadier. He's a lineman for the Chiefs. That was like one of my first. I don't know how big he is. That was just one that I got to do cleats for. I don't know if that name even rings a bell for you guys.
I've heard of his name before.
It sounds a little familiar.
I want to say that he played for the Miami Dolphins for like a couple of seasons, and then he got traded to the Chiefs. I could be wrong.
I didn't know him until I knew I was doing cleats for him, so I wouldn't be alarmed if you guys didn't know who he was. And then there was a Dolphins rookie in 2020. His last name was Solomon, and it sounds bad, but I don't remember his name.
Oh, James Sullivan, I think it is. Maybe.
I'll do my research real quick.
His last name is Solomon.
Solomon.
Solomon. I don't remember.
All right.
You doing the research on it, Matt?
I thought you were. You said you were.
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I could tell you. It's because, like, this is when I was doing cleats, but I didn't have any contact with these players, so I was just kind of doing them and shipping them out. So I didn't have much of a connection with these guys, so I don't remember their names and everything.
Gotcha. I mean, there's some other big.
Is it this guy?
Yeah. Oh, his first name's Solomon. Oh.
Solomon Kindley.
Oh, I did cleats for him.
Yeah.
I have to see him in the group too. Going through the Instagram to make sure I get if I remember all these guys. Those were like some of my first NFL works. You guys know Vernon Scott the second. He was a safety for the Packers, but he got cut this past season. He was a backup safety. I'm pretty sure second string safety.
It sounds familiar.
He was the first Packer I actually got to do shoes for. Yeah, I did. I mean, I'm not sure if you can see this much, but I did. Oh, that's not going to focus.
I can see it. I can see the swoosh. Those are nice.
There we go.
Oh, wow.
So that was like the first. And like the swoosh was. Oh, maybe we won't be able to see. Whatever. It was like cheese. It was like a cheese design.
Was that part of the My Cause, My Cleats thing that was going on? Okay.
Right. So that was my first actual Packers cleat I did. But then to get into the good stuff, I got to do shoots for A.J. Dillon of the Green Bay Packers. Also the My Cause, My Cleat stuff. So how that came about, because there's a pretty cool story behind this one. TikTok, I painted a sports card just on one of his sports. I'm sure you guys have seen some of the sports cards. I painted a sports card for him and just tagged him. It was actually my older brother Derek's idea. He goes, Dylan's into cards, you should do a card and tag him. Well, I did. I tagged him. It blew up on Instagram. Got like 500K views or whatever. And Dylan commented on it. He's like, cool card. I can't wait to see what you do next. Then he followed me. And then fast forward a few months later, we didn't say anything. I reached out to him, no reply. No reply in the DM, nothing. I replied to his comment, no reply there either. So I shot my shot and I failed. And this is where it gets good, because a few months later I was on Instagram Live, and AJ Dillon joined my live, like out of nowhere. I was just live streaming, painting, and AJ Dillon texts me, or it says in the chat, got any AJ Dillon cards? And I was like, I had to do a double take. I was like, any AJ Dillon cards? I looked up, I was like, got a check next to his name. I'm like, wait, that's AJ Dillon. So because like you guys know, I'm in voice chat, like I can talk to him. I shoot my shot. I'm like, AJ, if you're still in here, I'm a cleat customizer, shoe customizer, but I can customize your cleats for My Cause, My Cleats if you don't have an artist. And we were probably like 3 weeks out from My Cause, 4 weeks out from My Cause, My Cleats. And he said, awesome, I'll have my people reach out. I woke up to a phone call the next day from the company that was doing his My Cause, Feeding America, and they called me and they said, AJ sent your TikTok to it was his agent actually. His agent was given my TikTok, and then his agent reached out to Feeding America. A complicated story, but that's how it happened. And then I just got a call, and we just went from there. I got to design them with him back and forth. Like I would send like pictures of the cleats to the company, and they would send them to AJ, and we kind of designed them. Not really too much contact there between him and I. We were talking. He was throughout that process. He kept joining my lives and talking to me, but we weren't talking on the live about the cleats because that was more secret at the time. So I was told to keep that under wraps. But eventually, we finished the cleats, and I got to go to Lambeau Field and deliver those to him, which was a lot of fun. Obviously, it was a good time. I got to go there, enter the player parking lot. And then it was cold out that day. I thought maybe we'd just do it outside, but it was freezing that day. And he brought us right inside the player entrance and let me deliver them there, which was a lot of fun.
Where's the player entrance? Matt and I were kind of discussing this while we were at Lambeau Field. Are you able to disclose that?
Yeah, you could look it up and find it. It's because there's gates on it. It's lot 1. It's the one right across from the practice squad or practice stadium.
Oh,
yeah. Practice stadium, the same road that you would be on the side of the practice stadium, not the front, the side. So literally the road between Lambeau and the practice. I don't know what the practice is called. I know it has a name, but I don't.
Don Hudson Center, I do believe.
Yeah,
Don Hudson Center. Yep.
Yeah, right. The road right between those two. There's a lot. It's called Lot 1. It's on Google Maps. It's the player entrance, and anyone can access like the main part of the player entrance. You're not supposed to park there. But the players actually have a gated entrance.
Yeah, because
so you can enter that lot. No one's going to stop you. but you can't enter the actual player's gate because you need whatever. It's guarded. Security and
Yeah,
everyone gated.
when
So
when we were at the stadium, I think we were like moments after Rogers arrived.
Yeah, because we
One of
heard
the
big
security
cheers.
people, yeah, one of the security people was like, yeah, that was Aaron Rodgers who just went by. Because like I asked him like, who was that who just drove in there? And he's like, that is
it's
Rodgers.
weird because when I was
Uh,
sitting there, you see a lot of people with tinted windows and nice cars, and you just assume those are players.
you would think that they're
They're
players.
nice
Yeah.
cars. Their windows are tinted. Like when I saw AJ's car, his windows were tinted, but I instantly knew it had to be a player. It had to be him. It had to be, a nice G-Wagon Mercedes Benz, all tinted out windows.
Oh my gosh.
Black. It was black. It was white, but
Yeah.
like rooms were blacked. Windows were tinted, so it was really nice. His wife was actually driving it, so I think it was his wife's. But I'm like, we're waiting. Guy drove by with a nice car. I'm like, that has to be him, or that has to be a player. But windows are tinted pretty much, so it's hard to see inside those cars.
Yeah, nice cars at that time of year. It's likely to be a player. I wouldn't think it'd be
During
anybody
that
else.
lot too, yeah. And after AJ, um, I got to do shoes for rookie Christian Watson on the Packers as well, which was a lot of fun. I that one has a long story too. Reached out to him. I kind of shoot my shot on a lot of DMs, cold DMs, kind of like what I did with Tyrese. Um, Try to stay. I mean, I still will DM big players, but like DMing Giannis is absolutely pointless. But DMing a player that's a rookie is somewhat more likely. Usually, still not. But I DM'd Watson a few months ago when he got drafted around him and Dobbs. I sent them both DMs. Like I sent a lot of people DMs. Sent Dobbs and him a DM. Neither replied, but I later on got to talk to Watson's fiance, who said Watson would definitely be interested in doing a pair with you, and she said send him another DM, and he'll reply to you. He gets a lot of messages. Sorry that he didn't see it. And like they apologized. I was like, you guys don't have to be sorry you didn't see it. Like I know he gets a lot of messages. Well, she was being right. She was true on what she said. I DM'd him literally that night again, just like kind of copy and pasted my first message. Like it was just like, I'm a local artist. Would love to do cleats for you. Let me know if you want to do something. And he replied to that with yo. So I was like, okay, maybe he's just replying to be nice because at that point he didn't even answer what I said really. But he continued to reply. So I'm like, wow, he's pretty serious about it. And he said, let me think about what I want to do. And in my experience, if a player's thinking about what they want to do, they might not ever reply to you ever again because that's the last thing that's on their mind really is what they want to paint on their cleats. Or so I took it into my hands and I mocked up a pair of cleats on my iPad. I knew they were playing that It's the exact pair you guys saw. I knew they were playing that Christmas game, so I mocked it up. I sent it to them, and they can't get too complex with their footwear in the NFL because they can get fined. So I kept it pretty simple. I went with like those Christmas candy cane stripes and whatever, and they're green and gold. And I sent him that, and he's like, "Oh, that's so cool." He's like, "Let me send you the cleats too." So I was offering to gift him these, like buy him the cleats, whatever. But he sent me the cleats. They don't take care of that. He had his equipment manager send me the cleats, and so he sent me the cleats, and I got them, and I got to work. I texted him when they were done. We didn't talk throughout the time that I got them to when I painted them. I was like, there's a chance that he might not reply, whatever, after I'm done with these. Because, like, they lose those messages so fast. Not because he doesn't want to reply, but he might lose the message and forget about it. I texted him, they're done. And I said, is there any chance? This is when that snow was coming, that pretty bad storm. That was coming on that Thursday night, if you remember. And it was Wednesday night. And I said, is there any chance I can come bring these to you? It was close to Christmas. He wanted to wear them on Christmas. He told me he wanted to wear them on Christmas. I said, is there any chance I can run these up to you? I'm only 50 minutes away from Lambeau. I live like 55 minutes away. I said, is there any way I can run these up to you, deliver them? And he goes, yeah, we get done with practice at 6 o'clock. Can you be here at 5:30? So I just obviously said yes. There's those cleats brought my oldest brother, my youngest brother, and then my cousin. And I took them all to Green Bay. We went to Lambeau. And, of course, I looked for the guy with the nice car. Pulled in the same lot that we went with AJ. I pulled in that same lot. And he texted me, can you come around to lot 3, which is in front of the pro shop? So he goes, I'm in a black G-Wagon. It's all blacked out. You'll see me. And I obviously saw the nice car sitting there. Got out and got to talk to him for about 10 minutes. But that one was definitely another high moment for me because it was just, I mean, I love doing athletes and definitely favorite team athletes. So, and Watson, I think, is going to be pretty dang good. So,
I will say that, yes.
Amen, brother.
I
Yes,
think he
sir.
is a
I was a
strong.
pretty big fan before I was doing cleats for him, too. As soon as he started, showing what he was about, I was like, dang, this kid is good. So,
You're welcome for that, by the way. We traded you that draft pick.
yeah, well, he had that big drop against the Vikings in that week.
I'm gonna be
Was that the
complete.
first week? Week one?
Week
That was
one,
first game, wasn't it?
first
Week one.
play. Week one,
That was-
first play.
The first catch of his career for a touchdown. He dropped it, and I think it's just a cool story because that happened to him, and look what he did since then. So it's a lot of fun to get to players like that, and these guys are just genuine guys too. Meeting these guys is just cool. It's fun doing for anybody, but like when you get to meet the guys that are you're watching on TV on Sunday nights or whatever it is, Sunday afternoons, it's a lot of fun, especially when the cleats show up on the TV because it was Christmas Day when he wore them at noon. So I woke up on Christmas and got to watch my cleats on TV, which was a moment I will never forget. So,
Yeah,
Very nice Christmas present there.
well, my mom and my dad, I'm like, if I see these cleats on TV in the morning, my Christmas will be made, and I don't need any gifts.
yeah. I mean, I'm just like, I just saw, I think it was like the day or 2 days before you had posted on your Instagram that you had made Watson's cleats. And so I'm having Christmas. I'm like, my whole family's there. It's like, hey, Cody made those cleats. Like, those cleats that Watson's is
Those
wearing.
cleats are sick, by the way.
They're
They're
awesome.
like one of the dopest cleats I've seen, like, from the past year that you have done. That's in my opinion.
They were simple too. I liked how simple they were, but they were definitely cool. And I mocked them up in the intention that they would look really sick with the jerseys. I'm like, what would be so cool with the jerseys plus Christmas type of vibe? And we came to a conclusion on that, and I'm so glad that I got to do that because it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I saw
And
those.
Since it's the... Go ahead, Matt.
I saw those cleats on TV, and like my whole family was like, "Hey, this guy those cleats that Watson's wearing, my buddy I went to school with made them." I was like, "Yeah, I know this guy. Like, yeah, we're friends. Like,
I
biggest
had a lot
flex."
of people that day text me. They're like, "Oh, your cleats are awesome," or like, "Oh, like as we were been talking about this that you painted these cleats like at their family Christmases." Aaron Clifford had his family put on the TV, and they were all looking at him and pausing the screen. But I don't know if you guys saw, but during a replay of his catch, the shoe slid across the screen, and it blew up the whole TV. I don't know if you guys caught that. The whole TV was just my cleat.
I saw that. That was awesome.
It was on a replay. It was on like a close-up replay, and the whole TV, because he slid into the camera.
That is so cool, man.
The whole TV was like just his cleat. It was the green striped one, and I was like, wow, my whole cleat just got on TV. So that was pretty cool.
And with it being like a Christmas Day game, there's going to be so many people watching it on TV. Like, I think it was one of the most viewed days in NFL history, if I'm correct. So
It's really cool to be on Christmas. It's just an extra, remembrance to me. Like, yeah, he wore them. Like, I can't tell you the days that like other players wore my stuff, but I can definitely remember Christmas Day in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
It's just super cool to think that like the work you've done travels like all around the country.
I think that
Like,
all the time.
that's just mind-boggling to me, dude.
Yeah. I think that all the time because I'm like, okay, I hold this cleat for so long. Like, it's in this room. I paint it. I'm prepping it. I'm taping it. I'm working on it. My grandparents live across the street, so I walk them over, show my grandparents, I show my parents, I show my brothers. They all hold it, and then like 24 hours later or whatever it is, but they're wearing them on TV. Like, he took them to. They were here. They were in Green Bay. He shipped them here. I brought them back to Green Bay. He brought them to Miami. He wore them in Miami. He brought them back to Green Bay. I just think about the history of it, and it's just kind of cool.
That's
How they
crazy.
travel literally everywhere. After being in my hands for so many hours of working on them and looking at them, pretty cool. Speaking on that though,
Uh,
AJ Dillon did not wear my cleats, as you both know. Soldier Field kind of took that away from me. I woke. That was at a 3 o'clock game, I think it was, something like that. And I was ready to watch him play in them, and all of a sudden I turned on the TV and he's wearing white cleats, and the cleat. Those were how the cleats started before I painted them. So I was like, oh man, he's not wearing them, and all I could think about is like, why wasn't he wearing them? Whatever, whatever. Got a lot of texts from people. Brendan and I were talking about it, like where they were, because I had no idea where they were.
I think
Like,
I
had no
texted
clue.
you too, as well.
we
I just
were
had
talking. I remember we were telling each other, like, I think it's because of the field. Like,
That's
Soldier
what
Field-
everybody that texted me that knew like football or was like a big football head was like, I bet you it's because of the field. And I was like, oh, that would make sense. And then later on, I found out it was the field was a little wet, a little soggy, and he needed better spikes. And those cleats do not have interchangeable. Those are just he didn't. So he had to change into ones that with a little bit bigger spikes, which ultimately is a big bummer, but still cool because I got to meet him. It wasn't just like I sent him to him and I was waiting him for wear him. So definitely a bummer, but I got my get back with Christian Watson wearing my shoes on Christmas.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's I'd take that. I mean,
Well, it was like even when I did those, I was like, I wonder if he said he was gonna wear them. He told me he wants to wear them. He had me make them, but there's still that doubt in my mind. Is he actually gonna wear them on Christmas? So when I woke up that morning, I saw it on Instagram. I go right to their Packers page and looking for like their warm ups, and he was warming up in them, and that's how I first saw it. And then from there, it's just turning on the TV and seeing him. So too bad he got injured though.
yeah, he
That
went out like at about halftime. I remember seeing that.
Would you
Like,
believe me if I told you people were blaming me for injuring him?
no, they weren't.
Yeah, go look at my TikTok that I posted of me painting
Oh no.
them. Go read some of
Oh
the
gosh,
It's
my
custom
phone's charging
cars.
right now.
go read some of the
Is
comments.
these
It's like,
customs curse real?
yeah, I guess it's like congrats. Christian Watson got hurt in your cleats, or you made him fall, or you were the reason why he tripped on that one pass, or congrats, he someone was like cool cleats, but Watson sucks. So
Oh
like,
gosh.
just like the most negative things. And I'm like, oh my gosh. One guy was blaming me for his fantasy league, like him not doing good in fantasy.
Oh my gosh, that's such bullshit.
That's what I talked to when I was telling you about like comments. I'm like, those are just kind of like, are you serious? Like those are the comments, but
I would be laughing
Yeah.
over those comments. I don't know if you were. I don't know if you feel different.
I didn't like them or respond to them or anything. I was just like, you gotta be kidding me.
I would just
Those
look
made
at
me
them and laugh. I was like, ha 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 ha. Too bad.
Yeah, those. made
I'd
me
be
laugh.
the same way. I'd be like, are you actually that dumb? Like when it comes to people in their fantasy football leagues, oh my gosh, they go so seriously with all
I was
that
like,
stuff.
for real? He goes, congrats. He wore those cleats and it cost me like my fantasy or something. And I was like, what? You'd be joking me. But
I don't
it's all
know.
good. I mean, ultimately those comments don't matter. I just thought it was funny. Like what you said, I thought it was funny.
Yeah, you got to see a Packers player wear your cleats on
Right.
Christmas Day.
And at least he got hurt, but he wasn't seriously hurt. He was back the next week, and it was just I think it was his hip.
Yes, I do
Yeah,
believe
he had
so.
a hip injury.
Yeah, and then I got to watch him for a solid half. Fortunately, no touchdown, no end zone with him on, but should have had one maybe. Slipped on that one. Rodgers overthrew him on that other. Could have had two options, but outside of that, NFL wise, those are the two big NFL players. I would like to expand to other teams, but I would also love to do cleats for like anyone Packers. I mean, Jair, I'm a big fan of Jair. Matt's probably not, but I am.
Yeah, as you
And I
probably
think-
saw my reaction.
I think he's hilarious when he talks.
Is he the next one you're gonna DM, or have
He's the
you
next-
already DM'd him?
I've sent Jair DMs, no replies, but there's other ways to get to players that since I have that connection with Watson now, I think maybe
And Dylan.
I can get to either Dylan or Watson. I think Watson and I have more personable because we talked a little bit more. But I think that maybe if I say like, hey, if Jair wants something, try my best that way. But I would love to do shoots for Jair, Aaron Jones, Rodgers, literally anybody. You can name anybody, Lazard. But I would also like to expand outside of the Packers because just doing different teams. Would love to do Jefferson's cleats.
Those would be awesome. If you could actually
Even
do
though he
that.
got locked up, Jefferson's still a great player. Like fun to watch, but um, it's just fun getting to other organizations. It's definitely fun doing shoes for people from Wisconsin, like Bucks, Packers, Badgers, Brewers, others like stuff like that. But I wouldn't mind doing different teams. Like when Tyrese got drafted, he went to the Kings, but then played there and went to the Pacers. I was like bummed because I didn't believe that the Kings traded him. But I'm like, oh, maybe I'll meet new people from the Pacers or whatever. New opportunities. So, but Jair would be a big one if I got to him because I like him, and I think he's funny. Matt probably definitely does not.
Did you see
No.
that interview with Jair at the end of the game wearing the massive
The Brian
hat?
Robinson hat.
It was so funny, man.
I saw that. I was like, oh my gosh. There's
When he
no.
talks is funny.
He talks so differently. I
I don't
expect
even know what
him.
he says.
At the time, I don't know what he's saying, but he's like, even before that, he's like, you can't put too much focus on one player. We're not going to put that much focus on him, even.
They
even
literally
when they don't.
focus on him. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you have to, but like when he's talking, he doesn't admit it. He just like completely ignores it.
Like half the time he's slurring, I'm just like, I'm trying to understand him half the time. It's
Yeah.
like, I'm just trying to picture everything together.
I feel like there's one that I'm missing though. NFL, that's pretty big, but then outside of the NFL, I guess like non-sports, I've done Little Mosey, who was a pretty big rapper at the time, kind of fell off. I think he might have went to jail if I'm being honest. So, or he had some type of legal case that happened. So I did shoes for him, and then I also did shoes for Kendrick Lamar, who I didn't actually get proof of too, kind of the same Giannis situation. But I know they actually got to him. I just don't have proof of it because the Kings, he was performing at the Sacramento Kings Stadium. I guess I knew the Kings people at the stadium because of Tyrese. I made some connections with people there while painting for Tyrese. They reached out to me and asked if they could gift him a pair of my shoes for his concert. I did that. So I know they gave it to him. I tried going to Cali to meet him and deliver them, but the tour he was on was not allowing any visitors or any fans or anything. They weren't even. They left him in his dressing room, and that was like a gift with a note for him. So,
Wow.
it's pretty big too because I like Kendrick Lamar. Still, it's always nice to have a picture proof of him, like the receipts. But yeah, that was probably the two big ones outside of the NFL and NBA. Got to do some Omar Narvaez on the Brewers. He's a catcher. I got to do his cleats. Archie Bradley, if you guys know that name. He played for. That's a good question. That wasn't even a question, but I don't know. He was in the MLB. A couple of MLB players that I just not big in the baseball, so I'm just not sure. But I'm pretty sure Archie Bradley's a pretty big player, or was at the time. Yeah, that's it. That's it for the MLB. If I'm pretty Freddie Galvis, who was on the Reds, I'm pretty sure.
I've heard of
is another
him.
MLB. Yeah, he's pretty big or bigger. But I'm not too big into baseball, so I don't know many of those guys. I wanted to do Yelich because one that I know from the Brewers, but it happened. But other than that, those are probably the clients that I've done that I'm pretty proud of. If I haven't said one that you guys know, but I'm pretty sure. Looking around my room, things that I have, pretty sure those are the guys.
That's freaking awesome, dude. Like it's a dream of mine to like become like a sports broadcaster or journalist type of person and go out to like all of these sporting events. Like I don't care what it is, NFL, NBA, heck, not golf. Like I literally do not care. I want to like get to meet athletes and ask them questions. I think it's something that's just pretty cool, just to develop a connection with
Definitely fun.
athletes.
Being
Oh,
on the
yeah.
outside of professional sports, we look at it as like these guys are like, they are cool people. I mean, they're athletes. It's cool, but they're like, from my experience, from the people I've actually met, so normal. Like we forget that they're human beings with their own problems, with their own lives, with a life outside of, football field or whatever it is, basketball, whatever. You just realize when you're actually talking to him, you're like, wow, this guy's pretty normal. And now maybe it'd be a little bit different if I was meeting Giannis or, Rogers, like biggest players in the game. Like maybe then it'd be more a little starstruck. But when I'm meeting these guys, it's like now I talk to Tyrese just so normally. Or like Watson, even when I met him, he was just such a normal guy. He talked to me for like 10 minutes. Dylan probably same 10, 15 minutes before we left. Like those guys could have easily taken the cleats or said, ship them to me and don't talk to me ever again. But they let me come bring the cleats to them. So it's definitely fun meeting these guys. And it's just awesome to see them on TV after you just met them or just talked to them. Then they're wearing your cleats or your shoes or whatever. But
Yeah, so I know we are going pretty long with this episode, so
We're at
ask,
hour
like,
15. We're at an hour 15.
one or two more questions, and then we'll go to our celebrity guest pick type of
Awesome.
segment. But what's your favorite pair of shoes that you have done?
I get this question a lot, and I always say I don't know how to answer it, but it always goes back to the pair I first did for Tyrese. Probably not the most definitely not the most artistically inclined shoe I've done, but definitely one of my favorites because it has.
Brendan's just like, you better say mine or
I
we're
had to
not.
do that.
That pair is more artistic than the one I did for Tyrese to start off, but like the one that I did for Tyrese has so much history. It's the Joker shoe I did for him. But I have a lot out there that I like. For example, the ones you just showed. A lot that have artistic vision. I love the squids on the front on that one. I love how it goes across the toes.
Dude, I just love just how colorful all of this is.
I remember when we were making them, we were debating so hard on what colors to make the squids on the toes. You were like, "Oh, I want to do this." You're like, "I think you for sure wanted to do pink, or was it green?" There was one that you were locked in on.
I think I was locked in on pink because
I think we were
I
going
think
back and forth with like greens and blues, and I don't remember, but it was like I'm pretty sure you were locked in on pink. Then we went back and forth. But yeah, I would say like the most history was probably those. But I've got a lot that I've done, and a lot of times I tell my parents when I'm showing them like, "Oh, this is my favorite pair." It's like every new pair is my favorite pair, just because it's like my most recent work. But it's definitely a tough question to answer now that I've probably done like 500 pairs of shoes, cleats, and whatever. Yeah,
No,
there's a long answer for you on that
Brendan's just like, he's showing his pairs like, you better say my pair. We're not inviting you back on the show ever again. He's like, you're out of here. You're no longer a part of. You're no longer a part of the podcast.
Discord.
Favorite golf cleats I've done, because I've only done 2.
What was the other one that you did?
I've done 3 actually. I did a Rick and Morty pair that was pretty cool too. Yours definitely has better work on it though, because that was like in my beginning stages. It was a cool pair, but it was a long time ago. And the quality of work is a little less clean. But that was a cool pair. And then I did a pair like they make like Jordan cleats now.
Yeah,
like Jordan golf
those
cleats.
Those things are absolutely crazy, man.
They make like the Jordan 4 cleats, and I did a pair of those. It was pretty simple, but yours is definitely my favorite pair that I've done golf wise. I'm surprised even golfers reaching out, if I'm being honest.
I'm gonna reach out to you sooner rather than later again.
Yeah, same here.
I kind of want to rep 2 different pairs of.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty surprised.
Everyday cleats. Dude, every time after I played around of golf with these puppies on, I end up taking them off, and then like I grab some water, and then like a paper towel or something, and I just like
about it. I think that's how I told you.
And then I scrub it all off. I took your advice. Yeah.
That's the best way, because you don't want to just take like a what are those scrub brushes and just like scrub away at the paint. I mean it's meant to last, but it's also gonna chip eventually. You can't just take a scrub brush and scrub a painted wall.
Yeah.
The best way. I mean, I was surprised when you showed them on camera. I'm like, dang, those puppies are still clean.
Yeah.
Like, I do my best to have a nice style when it comes to my golfing. Like I got my good flamingo.
Good play, good, right?
Polo on. Oh yeah, it's so good. But yeah.
Awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't. I have favorites that I've done, but it's hard to choose favorites. Watson's might be one of my cleanest pairs I've done, but it's like a very simple pair. Like you said when we were talking about it earlier. But it's hard to choose. It's so hard to choose.
How
But
many
yeah,
pairs do
you
you
guys
think
have a
you've
favorite
done?
pair. Do you have a favorite pair? Probably your pair. Or is there a pair that stands out on my page that you guys remember that were like really cool? It's a hard question because there's so many.
There
Yeah.
are so many you've done.
You guys probably have a hard time thinking off the top of your head because there's just so many.
Well,
Like,
I really like anime right now. So like, I know you've done a
Yep.
Dragon Ball Z one; those are cool. I know you've done a
Done some
Naruto one;
Naruto, some Dragon Ball Z, yeah. No One
those are
Piece or
cool.
anything.
Those were really cool. I think one of those, or probably going back when you did the Joker one with Tyrese, that
Yeah, a lot of
original
people
one.
like those.
Those were nice. I think those three are probably like my top three right now.
I get a lot of Joker compliments yet, even though I made them so long ago. A lot of followers came from that pair too, so
okay, my top three from you. Of course, I'm putting mine in there
I knew it.
because
Of
I
course,
mean
you
I
know.
gotta,
It's gonna be
you
number
gotta
one.
do it.
Right.
Another one I would say is your Black Panther shoes that you did. I believe those were
Like,
also for Tyrese, right?
yeah.
And then this is a tough one. My number three is either gonna be the Christian Watson shoes, or I want to say there were some sick. I think it was the SpongeBob ones that were. I think it was the. Oh my gosh, the fans on the podcast are gonna hate me for this because I'm gonna say the wrong. It's the dirty bubble.
Do you want to see them right now? Because I did those and they're still in my
Yeah,
room.
yeah, yo,
Now,
it's those. It's those. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir. Seeing some of his
This isn't
finest
the-
work.
This isn't the dirty double or dirty bubble pair. I mean, it is, but it's on the other side. So here is the first side. So these were just a pair I had laying around that I bought, used off a guy, and then I painted them. And I think no, I never wore them. I think I wore them to practice or whatever. But they're just displayed in my room now because I really like them and I like this episode. And there's the dirty bubble for you.
I like the
And they're just,
SpongeBob.
So
They're just sitting in my room, displayed, and I don't think I'm ever gonna get rid of them because it's just a pair I like, and I like to display stuff in my room, at least some of my work before it sells. And I'm sure I could sell them, but I don't think I'm ever gonna. Just 'cause I like them.
That's fair.
yeah, I would say that those are part of my top three, and that is.
I'm
fair.
I'm surprised you remembered all the way back to Black Panther. That was a long time ago. It wouldn't have been my first thought. That was a cool
Black
pair.
Panther is one of my favorite Marvel movies.
That would make
behind the Guardians movies. I put the
And
Guardians.
me
movies
and
ahead.
Moore were doing the Chadwick portrait too after he passed, so that's the reason why we did it. On the inside, it had the rest in peace to him in his year. And
Oh, that's
the years
nice.
he lived. And then the outside was like the half split, Black Panther and then Chadwick, which was cool. Second time doing a portrait too, and it went pretty well.
That's crazy that was already over 2 years ago, 2.5
Yeah,
years
just
ago.
about 2 years
Three
now.
NBA seasons ago, so like 2.5 years, yeah.
Because I was in college. I remember.
I was beginning almost 3 years ago. 2.5, yeah. Whatever.
Time
Long
flies
ago.
while you paint shoes, I guess.
Time flies while you're working, yeah. That was a long time ago, but definitely did a lot of cool pairs for Tyrese.
I'm not sure what Matt was doing there.
Oh,
but
yeah. So
you got a question to ask?
No, I just heard people coming up my stairs. I thought they would be coming to my apartment, so I closed my door real quick. No, but I don't have any questions. I mean, if you want to get straight into the predictions for kind of like our college football game predictions.
Whatever you guys
Yeah.
were ready for.
All right. So, Cody,
Okay.
we have 5 games for you. And so, I know obviously you listen to some of our podcasts. So how this will go, we'll give you the matchup, and you pick the team. You pick the team that wins, and you're going to say the score, all right? Should be
Wait,
simple.
are we doing college?
Oh no, NFL, but it's like
NFL.
college
I
style.
say I don't know anything about college. I don't know much about NFL either, but I'll give you a try.
All right, Brendan, if you want to
I'm
do
paying
the
attention more than I used to. I follow the Packers 100%, but other teams kind of gets mushy. But
all right,
Yeah.
if you
Okay.
want to do the honors of
So
typing it, because the viewers at home will see me just typing away from my in front of my mouse,
oh,
mount camera.
true,
So our
true,
first
true.
matchup is these are all like probably like the biggest games this week.
Yeah,
So our first
they are.
one, we have the Tennessee Titans at the Jacksonville Jaguars.
well, I think they're both like mid teams, aren't they? Both 500 ish.
Yeah, so they're both seven
You
and
would be
eight.
correct. Yeah.
Yeah, they're both
I
eight
like
and eight.
Trevor Lawrence though. I'm gonna
So
go
are
with the
you going
Jag.
with the Jags?
Yeah,
Okay.
strictly based off of Trevor Lawrence.
I don't blame you.
I do like Derrick Henry too, but I'm gonna go with the Jags.
What's the score you got for this one?
Oh, I'm doing the score too.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
You're spelling Jaguars were wrong, by the way. There you go. But
What'd you say?
I'm looking at
I was
our
spelling something wrong.
He was spelling Jaguars wrong, so I had to point that out because I'm also looking at our script right now.
Oh, you guys read out a score. That's cool. It takes a while to do that. Score. Oh, it's not gonna be a very high scoring game. Let's see. It's gonna be like the Jags are gonna only score. They're gonna score, 21. We'll go 21-10. How about that?
All right, I like
Hey,
that.
man.
That's a pretty good prediction, man.
That's how usually
Oh,
ours
thank you.
are.
Appreciate it.
All right.
I mean, I'm not gonna go high scoring very often. Make sure my math's right too. That the score is possible.
Matt, should we also do our predictions for this one? So
Yeah.
then, like, we can talk about what we know, and then
Yeah.
Cody does his prediction right after.
I will say I don't know
Because
we're
I'm sure you guys know everything about these.
yeah
teams.
we do. We're at hour 26 right
Yeah.
now, so we're just trying to keep these under roughly around hour and a half. So that's the only thing. I mean, if you have something going on, we completely understand. But
No, I'm good. I'm cool.
All right.
Whatever you guys want to do, if it fits whatever fits your schedule. I
All
mean,
right.
if you guys want to just have me predict it, I'll just go off based off. I'll probably go off like one or two players that's playing, or if I don't like the team.
all right, yeah. So I say we also give our predictions right here, along with King Customs.
All right.
I'll actually let you kick her off.
So this game is, it's going to be dominated by the Jaguars. So Cody, you made a great pick. The Tennessee Titans right now, they're absolutely struggling. They don't even have Ryan Tannehill anymore at quarterback. I don't even think they're starting Malik Willis either.
No, they're sorry, Joshua
so-
Dobbs.
Yeah, so they're sticking with Dobbs and Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars. They've been so dominant here in these past few weeks, ever since their loss to the Lions that was 5 weeks ago already. The Jaguars have gone 4-0. So, yeah, I'm taking the Jaguars in this one, 28-10.
All right.
Oh, I wasn't too far off of Brendan's guess. I also I'll have to put this in there. I went Jags because the Titans beat the Packers, and I was at that game, and I just.
Oh no. Oh wow.
Damn.
Yeah.
Another reason why I picked Jags, because it was cold. We lost. Yeah.
I'm also gonna take the Jacksonville Jaguars, kind of as Brendan said. This game does have high rewards because basically whoever wins this game gets into the playoffs. So, but the Jaguars have been on fire right now. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is playing outstanding football. I mean, I don't trust Joshua Dobbs. They're going to be relying on Derrick Henry a lot. But Jaguars are going to win in a landslide in this one, so give me 30-17.
All right.
Oh, you want to type
I feel
it
like
in?
our predictions are pretty good.
Can you please type it in,
Yeah.
Brendan? Because I don't want to.
I feel like I'm
I
gonna
got
give a
you.
score that's not even possible, so I have to think out the math first.
That's all right, dude.
I'm gonna just have to go by sevens, so it's gonna be like the next one's gonna be like I'll just go by sevens and like add a field goal.
That's fair.
Actually, I've been watching like more non-Packer games just while I'm painting. I'll put it on my TV. And there's one night I actually sat down and watched a Monday night game, which is not very often that I ever do. Like this is the second season where I've been following the Packers, but first season where I've been really getting into things. But football's fun to watch when I just have a lot to learn about it, I guess. I know everything to do with basketball, but I don't know like my older brother would sit here and talk about like, oh, why are they running that coverage and it like that all like
Yeah, yeah, they should be running that coverage.
trying to learn it all. But I didn't play. I only played 1 year of football growing up, and then I only started watching it a few years ago. So trying to figure it all out. But hopefully in a few years, I've actually enjoyed watching it a lot, like a ton. Like I've really been enjoying watching the Packers. Might even a little bit say like I've watched every Packer game, and I haven't been tuning into many Bucks games because there's just so many of them. Like Packers is just once a week. You watch them. A lot of hype build up throughout that week, waiting to watch them on the weekends. But like Bucks, you can turn on a game pretty much any other night and they're on. So
I feel
I don't
like
know.
that's a huge advantage when it comes to like football. It's only on once a week, but then when it comes to the NFL and then college football, you got a NFL game on a Thursday night, so then you get Friday off, and maybe there's a basketball game that's going on that Friday or whatever, and then you got college football on Saturday, and then the NFL on Sunday, and then one game on Monday. Like it's just nice to see that it's all spread out by like a week.
If a game's on like if you got a Packer game that
Hype up for it, and then it's like, oh, if I miss this game, like can't really go back. I'm gonna see the final score and be like, darn, I missed the game.
Right. You set aside a little bit more time for that 1 week play. So.
When it comes to watching the NFL or just football in general, since it's only on at one time, you just get to go from there. Not really sure where I was going with that tangent, but we'll go into the next game here. So all these games have playoff implications. So it's going to be the Baltimore Ravens at the Cincinnati Bengals.
Or go with the Bengals.
Matt, do you want to go first on this one?
You guys are going before me.
No. He's always going to go first. He's the guest. He goes first.
Should I go before I know anything, and then you guys come in and I see if I'm right? Or if I'm close to what you guys think?
I'm fine with that. I mean...
You want to do it, Brendan?
My mic ended up cutting out. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. What was the last thing that I said?
So, I think Cody asked if we wanted to have him go first or have us go first, so he's not going into it blindly. But...
Oh, yeah, Matt, you can go first.
All right.
This one, and then I'll follow.
Yeah. So, obviously, this is... Yes, then Cody. So, obviously, as Brendan said before, this game also has big playoff implications. This is basically to decide who wins the AFC North. Obviously, the Bengals are red hot right now, but obviously what happened on Monday. Honestly,
prayers to DeMar.
Yeah, prayers to DeMar and his family. I only see that now as like kind of a minor setback, but they'll still get going. I still don't know if Lamar Jackson's even playing, but it's at Cincinnati. Give me Cincinnati. Give me the 28-13.
So this game was originally supposed to be the Sunday night football game before Cody and I's Green Bay Packers ended up beating your Minnesota Vikings. So then the Packers and the Lions take over for the night game, final game of the year. But in this one, yeah, I kind of see the Bengals taking control. You know how much I'm a fan of Joe Burrow. So,
there it is again.
Yeah. I'll take the Cincinnati Bengals in this one, 31-14.
So before you guys even said that, I was thinking the Bengals too, because I just told you I like Joe Burrow.
Put your name there, Brendan.
I thought is Lamar hurt?
Yes, he's out with a PCL. He's been out for the past 4 weeks.
That's what I thought. I wasn't sure if he's coming back or not, which was what I was going to ask.
Not.
Still,
I
I would
have
take the
not seen
Bengals.
anything. I haven't seen anything. I haven't been on my phone at all. Most of the day, and I haven't really saw anything that he's coming back. So, I think you are picking the right
Bengals
choice
then.
here.
It's
Yes.
going to be like, I think the Bengals are going to put up, let's go with 28 again because I like that number. Ravens, we'll just go with 2 touchdowns. We'll just go 28-14. You guys writing this down so I can at least see are you guys writing this down so I can see this later?
Yes.
Yes,
We have
I'm
this.
putting it down in our script. We keep track of our records every single week, ever since we started, which was week 11. And I'm 60-27, and Matt's 56-30.
No. That's
And
wrong.
What?
Am I? Oh, I guess
What?
so.
Correct.
No. I'm pretty sure I'm 69-34. 33
Oh,
because I was
That
2
was
games
after
behind.
week 16. That's after week 16.
Yes, so
You're
week
right.
17 I am 69
Nice.
and 30 yes, and 33.
And then I'm 71-31. So yeah, if Matt and I were sports bettors and sports betting was legal in Wisconsin, we'd probably do stuff over the NFL.
I would say that's pretty good for both of you. I
It's
Never really-
insane.
never really like done that where I predict scores besides like March Madness, so kind of excited to see if I'm close. Right now, I'm just
Yeah.
spitting scores out of nowhere. I'm just like guessing.
That's basically all it is.
Hey.
I hope for the best.
Yeah, right.
All right. So in the next matchup, it's gonna be the Los Angeles Rams versus the Seattle Seahawks. I'll go first in this one here for the prediction. So huge playoff implications here for Seattle. Seattle needs to win to have a chance of getting the 7 seed in the NFC. But if the Rams win, the Seahawks are done, and then that's when it comes down to the Sunday night game. So obviously, I'm going to be taking the Seattle Seahawks in this one. The Rams don't have anything to play for. I'll take the Seahawks in this one. 24-10.
All right, so kind of what Brennan hit it on the nail. The Rams aren't really playing for anything right now. Seahawks, big playoff implications to get that 7th seed. If they win and Detroit wins, they're in the playoffs. But yes. So if, as I stand corrected, the Seahawks win, Detroit wins, Seattle's in the playoffs. If Seahawks lose, and then, as Brendan said, it's a toss-up for that 7th seed between the Packers and Lions. But still give me Seattle because it's the Rams. Excuse you. It's still the Rams. I don't have trust in them. I mean, they have pretty sure they do have the worst record by defending Super Bowl champion.
I wouldn't be surprised if you're correct on that.
I think they are. They're 5-11 right now. But give
I
me
feel about a down year they've had. Go ahead.
Yeah, but give me Seattle 31-20.
All right, Cody, after hearing that, what do you think?
I was gonna go with Seahawks as well before even hearing, because I don't know if this is any true, but I know the Rams have been, they got a new quarterback. Remind me his name again.
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield.
I just don't know. I haven't paid attention to them since he had that one good game, or like his first game there. I know they won. You probably know who it was against. I can't remember either.
Las Vegas Raiders.
The Raiders.
No, they won that, but I haven't really heard anything on them since. And I feel like I hear more on the Seahawks. And I know the Seahawks are in the hunt because my uncle's lives on the street, is a big Seahawks fan. So I'll go with the Seahawks. Even though I'm not the hugest fan of the Seahawks because he's a fan of them and he makes fun of the Packers. We'll go. Gotta get crafty with the score here. Go Seahawks 35. Um, Rams 21.
High
Just go,
scoring game.
go for
Okay.
sure.
Anything is possible.
It
Anything
really
can
is.
happen in these NFL games. So, like, no matter the skill you have when it comes to picking, literally does not matter.
Like I said, I'm just throwing these numbers out. I don't even know.
They're numbers and they make sense.
That's what
So,
I'm doing. I'm doing math before I say them, you know? At least as long as they make sense. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep saying 28 to something.
Just to remind you, we do have a 20-17 curse.
yes, we do. Do not say 20 to 17.
Say Packers 2017.
Hell no. Do not listen to that man. Do not
Yes.
listen to him.
Yes, please do it.
Whoever you say 2017, the team loses, or what?
Yeah,
Yes.
basically.
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure we're cursed with it the last, I want to say, 5 weeks.
The Vikings
or
come up, I
6
should
weeks.
say that.
No, that's actually not on here. That's not
We
on
don't
here
have a Vikings game,
because
unfortunately.
It's Nathan Peterman's Bears against the Vikings. So
Actually, no, when Matt and I do the rest of our picks, I'll put your pick in there for the 20 to 17. Don't worry.
no,
Yup.
no,
Yup.
no. This is not in our contract deal.
Okay. So in our next game, we have the New York Giants versus the Philadelphia Eagles. This one's in Philadelphia. This game also has big playoff implications because if the Philadelphia Eagles end up losing and the Dallas Cowboys end up winning, the Cowboys are the ones who win the NFC East,
And get the
which would be
one
a really
seed.
big factor in the season. And as to Matt alluded, they'd get the 1 seed, and then the Eagles would fall to the 5. So the Giants, they're guaranteed number 6. In this game, it's in Philly. It depends if Jalen Hurts is playing. I've said this pretty much in every single episode we've had that he is the MVP of the league. And if you don't have the MVP of your league, your team's going to be struggling. And we've seen that with Gardner Minshew. They've gone 0-2 after losing to the Cowboys and then losing to the Saints. And that is the game that I picked, the Eagles 2017. So I'm going to pick the Eagles because I really don't want to see the Cowboys get the 1 seed. That's my only reason. I'm taking Philadelphia. I'm going to go with 17-14.
Oh wow, so you have a low scoring game.
I didn't want to be rude and interrupt you, but my Chromebook's about to die.
Oh okay,
That's why I just ran off. I'm just plugging it in.
all good.
All good.
He's about to get power. There we go. Didn't want to interrupt your prediction. Who'd you pick? Can you repeat that?
He picked the Eagles 17-14.
Oh,
Yes.
cool.
All right.
Matt, on to you.
So as a Vikings fan, I hate the Eagles. So basically this has been the theme throughout the whole entire season that I'm just against the Eagles. But the Giants, how they played against, who did they play on Sunday? The Colts. How they played,
Giants.
yeah,
Yep.
even though it was the Colts, they played super well, and we saw that they lost to the Saints. The Eagles lost to the Saints, who were 6-9. Nice, but if the Giants can keep that momentum flowing into this week, which I think they will, because they realize how big this game is. I mean, yes, they have they've already clinched a playoff spot, but this is just for morale at this point, and try and carry this win to the Eagles into the playoffs. So I'm actually going to take the Giants. Hopefully, it's not a landslide like last week. And this is like, if Jalen Hurts does not play in this game, the Giants are going to win.
I would agree with you.
So give me the Giants 28-20.
All right. Up to the king.
I'm gonna go with Jalen Hurts is playing, and if when he does, that they will win. And they will win. Let's see. We're gonna go 28-10. It's gonna be a big win. He's gonna play, obviously.
All right. So
Excuse
with
me.
those predictions, bless you.
Thank you.
Uh, with those predictions down, we are on to our last game of this pick'em. So Sunday night football. This is likely to get the 7 seed. If the Seattle Seahawks lose, it will be for the 7 seed. This game is the Detroit Lions at the Green Bay Packers. Matt, do you want to go first?
No, you can go first.
All right. Um, I'm feeling super confident with how the Green Bay Packers have played recently. They've had some really big wins, 4 straight wins. They beat the Bears, they beat the Rams, they beat the Dolphins, and they beat the Vikings. So, and after a dominant win against Minnesota, I mean, I can't root against my team. Like
Agreed.
you can't do it. The Lions, they did have a pretty good game last week against the Bears, but let's be honest, they're the Bears, so they suck.
To be fair, I will say the Bears are one of the best 3-10 teams I've ever seen. They're a sneaky.
Facts.
They're a sneaky team.
If Justin Fields didn't get injured as often as he did, I'd agree with you on that 100%. But I'm taking the Green Bay Packers. It's at Lambeau. The environment is crazy. We were literally there last week. We know how loud
Yeah.
and crazy it is of an atmosphere there. I'm gonna take the Packers, 35-21,
Ooh, high
Jeez.
scoring.
and
All
then the
right.
Packers will get the 7 seed and roll on to the playoffs.
I think I hate the Packers for many, many different reasons. So obviously,
That's true.
so obviously I'm picking the Lions with this. They annihilated the Bears. Brendan, just to put back your last week pick, you thought the Lions and Bears were going to go into overtime. That did not happen. They beat them 41-10.
Well, Justin Fields only played a quarter.
Yeah, but still, your team isn't about one player? It's about the whole team. But the Lions are also riding a hot streak. I think people will finally realize that hey, this team is actually serious. Uh, they started 1-6, and now they are 8-8 right now. So their only two losses have come to the Bills and to the who was their last Bills and
It's
Carolina.
it's funny how you said the Lions are riding a hot streak and they've only won one game.
I say that one against Carolina is a fluke, and you just carry that right into there. They're going to come out here with vengeance because they realize, hey, Detroit's actually a team that's for real. We want to make the playoffs. This is a
But
playoff. This is a playoff contender team.
but dude, the Packers they lost to the Lions earlier in the season. Wouldn't it be the Packers who are coming out with vengeance on Detroit?
No, well, yes and no. The only reason I'm
No.
saying this because Detroit. The last time Detroit was in the playoffs was in 2015, 2014,
Last time the
2015.
Detroit Lions had a playoff victory, you know
Not
that.
a victory, not a victory, an appearance. They lost to Seattle. And that game was like I think it was like 13-9 or something, or 27-9, if I'm mistaken.
Not a clue.
I just saw something earlier on this, but this is where Dan Campbell he keeps his starting job in Detroit because he leads a line into the postseason. Give me 28-24.
Well, if you're saying that, the Lions would not get into the postseason because the Seahawks won the game that you picked, or for the game you picked, the Seahawks won.
Well, yeah. Anyways, Cody, make your
Got them.
Oh,
shut up.
I have to go with the Packers.
Absolutely. Let's go.
I root against them. They have been hot, and I do think that it's a little bit of a comeback season after struggling. And it's kind of like, because all season, I'm sure, Brendan, you were like, do they still have a chance to make the playoffs? Do they still have a chance? Do they still have a chance? And everything
Oh,
kind of went
dude.
away.
Dude,
It's
I
been
lost all hope when the Packers went to 4-8. I was like, "Yep, we're done.
Yeah,
We're done."
then
to
it's
burn
been
to.
constant.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. You guys had a 3% chance of making the playoffs when you guys were 4-8. Now look where you are.
And that's why I think
Really?
all the stars have aligned and the Packers will win because it's been all seasons. Are they still going to make the playoffs? Are they still going to make the playoffs? Everyone counted them out, and everything had to land perfectly for them to make the playoffs. And I'm a believer that everything happens like that, and it's just going to be a big miracle. They're going to make the playoffs, and they're going to beat. And they're going to beat the Lions. I was going to say 28-24, but Matt said that, so I'm going to go 28-21. I think it's going to be a close game, and I think it's going to be a fun one to watch, but I think it's going to be a stressful one to watch. But, can't root against them. And give me a bonus. Christian Watson's going for 2 tutties.
I'll
Oh,
put that in there.
all right.
I'm just feeling it. He has scored the last 2 games, I believe. Maybe 3. No, 2. And I think he's going to have a good game.
CW with 2 tutties. I put that down in there as well.
We're gonna see if that lives up.
The last time the Packers made the playoffs as a 7 seed, they ended up going on to win the Super Bowl. Just throwing that out there.
You want to know
Packers
something?
are on hot streak.
I'm gonna ask you something. You think if Rodgers wins another Super Bowl, he's gonna retire at the end of the year?
I think he's staying one more year.
You think he's gonna stay one more year?
I feel like it depends on how big of a run the Packers make.
Okay.
But I would think he would go up 1 more year.
All I will
Off
say.
of that, Brennan, or even Matt, what are your guys' thoughts on Jordan Love?
I guess I'll go first. Waste of a draft pick. I will say that. I think it wasn't a smart. I think he was the first quarterback taken. I mean, that just showed
In that
you.
draft?
Yeah, wasn't he? Or who was taken before?
Wasn't that 2020 draft?
Oh yeah, it was. So that was like with Burrow and Tua. Never mind. Anyways. No.
They were 2019.
Yes, they were, because that was the year. Yes. Anyways, I still think that he shouldn't have been a first-round pick because, from the looks of it, he's been looking. From what the Packers are basically saying to Rodgers is like, hey, we're gonna move on from you now, so we can have it was like the same situation when they drafted Aaron Rodgers with Brett Favre. I mean, from what I've seen him, it looked like you guys didn't know. It was like, hey, is Rodgers going to be starting this year? And then Love was with all the new rookies. And, from what I could recall, he had, really good chemistry, with Dobbs and Watson, because, he had been having that practice time. Then Rodgers came back. But I think there's some potential. But right now, he's looking like a huge bust for you guys. Because he's not getting any playing time. What is this, his second, third year?
Or if it was 2019.
I can't even remember what year he was in, honestly. I want to say it was 2020, though. But no, the 2020 draft, yeah. Was it? Dog, I can't remember. But I agree with you, dude. He's had some
2020 draft.
moments. He's had some promising moments, but the issue with everything about what the Packers did to Aaron Rodgers is that they traded up for him. If the Packers didn't trade up for him, I'd be fine with the pick, because if the Packers would have traded up for a different pick, I was hoping it would have been a wide receiver, because the Packers they just didn't have that guy. They had Devontae Adams at the time, but then, if you're looking at the rest of the receiving core from Green Bay, Alan Lazard, he didn't even make his appearance yet at that time, and there literally wasn't any other guy.
You had
on the team for
Cobb,
the Packers.
But Cobb is just.
Randall Cobb.
I think he needs to retire. If I'm being honest, he's been going to team to team. He's old. He's been going around.
Cobb.
I like Cobb too.
I like Randall Cobb. Yeah.
But
he's just old.
Yeah, on that aspect,
he's past his prime. That's
beginning of the season. He was getting some pretty good targets, and then after a while, Christian Watson showed up, and then Doesn't
Yeah.
really get receptions.
Ever
Even
since
Lazard doesn't
Dallas.
get as many though.
No. I thought Lazard was going to be the clear number one receiver
I
for the
do too.
Packers this year, and he hasn't. Like
It's
the
kind of
Packers' receiving core is way
Watson.
too.
As soon as Watson started playing good, it's like Lazard went to not the. I thought he was gonna be the first, and then all of a sudden Watson comes in, starts getting a lot of receptions. Even Dobbs gets a lot of receptions when he's in.
I was gonna
Game back, he
say
had like
it used to
5 or
be.
6, and then Watson had 5 or 6 as well, and then Lazard had like 1, Cobb had like 1, but
I was gonna say before like Dobbs got injured. I think it was like during the Buffalo game or right after the Buffalo game. Like Dobbs was like the clear number one receiver because this is when before that Watson had broken out against Dallas, and ever since Dallas, Watson has been going. Well, he's gained trust from Rodgers, which is a main huge important thing because
right.
you drop a 75-yard touchdown in the first play of the season and you lose Rodgers' trust right away. And from the looks
Here's
of
the
it,
thing. Rodgers didn't lose trust in him though. He kept going back to him. Like
I think
after
that was the
moment.
in that game that was the only target that Watson
Well, yeah,
had.
in that game, I'm saying like he was able to make a progression.
Like one or
during the
two
season
catches
to gain
per
trust.
game. It was like one or, if lucky, he had 4 targets and he would have 2 catches. And that was until Dallas when he started popping off. And Rodgers was like, oh, I can rely on this guy now.
That was a great football game. I love that. Dallas
Yeah, I
Cowboys
said
game.
that I don't know what's up with Dallas when they play Green Bay. It's a
Mike
different game.
McCarthy.
Yeah, probably. No.
Yeah. So, any other thoughts as we're getting moments from closing out here? It's 11:17 currently. We've been going for probably close to 2 hours.
Hour 56.
Lots to talk about.
Yeah, we
That might have been my fault. I do tend to talk a lot about this stuff. I have a lot to say. There's 5 years worth of stuff within what's gone on that I tend to forget some of it until I get to talk about it again, and then I go on.
Hey, it's all good. All good.
Yeah, no problem at all, dude. We're glad that we could have you as our first guest here on the Down on the Sidelines podcast. I think it's pretty special to see how you're doing, and I'm glad that you're doing good, man. I hope you had a happy holidays, like a good Christmas and a happy New Year.
Good.
Yeah, thank you.
2023 good, yeah?
I hope so.
I hope
With
it's a
the
lot
way
better.
The national news has gone recently. It hasn't seemed great, but plenty of time to turn that around. So
Yeah, we got 361 more days.
we're already through day number 5.
I thought it was the
Or
5th
4.
today. Matt, I was like, maybe I thought it was the 5th, but it's only the 4th.
It's only the 4th. We have
Yeah, I thought it was the
40
fifth,
minutes till it's 5 days.
I could have honestly sworn it was the 5th. I really thought it was, but I
too. I
guess
thought
not.
it was the 5th too.
Y'all are
I
wrong.
don't know why.
No.
Maybe we're correct, but
Matt's
the
got to
rest
get
of
some
society's wrong.
Huh?
Matt's got to be right on.
Yeah.
He's a Viking fan. So.
Hey now, we're 12-4. Oh yeah, I forgot to say this. I made TV. I was if you go over to Twitter, to Pro Football Folk Talk, they use me as in their photo because I dressed up as Kirk Thuggins.
They did.
I have my
Wait.
chains.
They did.
Yeah.
Twitter?
To Twitter.
Twitter, then what?
Pro Football Talk. This should have like around 2.8 million followers, and you go down to Sunday's
I can
post.
send you a screenshot right away too.
Yeah, I might not be able to find it right away.
You might have to.
How many we go?
Well,
You
so
sent it?
yeah. So Brendan, if you see it right there, it's like it looks like Brendan says it looks like I'm upset. That's what it looks like.
That's the point of the article. They framed it as to make it look like you're upset because it says after losing 41-17 on Sunday, the Vikings 12-4 have been outscored by 19 points in the season.
Then the
Yeah,
article says 12-4 Vikings have been outscored by 19 points.
Yeah,
per football team.
but I was doing the skull chant with with the
They framed you.
They
buddy.
framed me so bad. It looks like
It's actually pretty cool though.
I know. One of my friends that sent me that when it had like 90,000 views, it was like, hey, 90,000 people that seen those nipples, you king. I was like, appreciate it.
They did frame you though.
They really did. I will say,
Use that out of context.
they really did. God damn it, NFL or Pro Football
That's
Talk.
funny though.
I had like 3 or 4 NFL media people come up to me and ask me to take pictures and like videos of me. Because they said, "Oh my gosh, you look exactly like Kirk Cousins." I'm sorry, and I had about 50 people that said I look like Kirk Cousins. It was like, Kirk O'Chains is here. I was like, "Hey, what's up?"
Maybe you should start doing like the impersonations where
Yeah, because there's a Rodgers. There's a
People
Rodgers.
go viral over that.
There's a Rodgers one. I'll be the
impersonating
Kirk Cousins one. I'll be the Kirk Cousins.
People get a lot of views off that.
They really do. Hey, maybe I'll become like they'll give me free tickets or something.
Maybe. Hey, Matt, if it wasn't for us going to Party City and getting those gold chains, I don't think that would happen.
No, that was the whole plan. That cost me $42, by the way.
Hey, you got like 100,000 views out of it.
Hey, I guess so. They better pay me for my likeness. No.
Hey, you should reach out and say you never asked me to use my image.
Actually, I did give them permission. They asked me, it's like, hey, can we use this? I was like, yeah, sure, go right ahead. They just sent it.
You were on their property. They took a picture. You consented by showing up.
I was like, hey, if you're gonna use it, make sure you use my name right.
Yeah, why didn't they tag Matty Ice?
I know, Matty Icy.
The real Matty Ice, not Matt Ryan.
The choke artist.
Okay.
Yeah.
True.
Anyways, I think we'll wrap up here.
I got one more thing. Before we let you go, who do you think's winning the Super Bowl?
He's gonna
Say the Packers.
What did I say? To be fair, he doesn't have the Packers.
You could ask me right now who's going to win the championship, NBA championship. I'll say the Bucks. Like I'm a very
Wisconsin
bias.
Yeah, very biased sports fan.
Same.
The Packers could be making the playoffs. Still say they'd win the Super Bowl.
I actually don't have the Vikings winning the Super Bowl, believe it or not. I have the Bills.
I got the Bengals.
That's someone who can actually like be real. I'm not. I'm just straight up,
bullshitting. It's like, oh yeah, Packers are gonna win.
Just bullshit everything. Yep.
If I'm gonna be betting on someone, I'm just gonna bet on the Packers because that's who I really want to see win. Obviously.
Yeah.
So, I am biased. I have always been that way with sports.
Yeah.
Like if you ask me who's gonna win March Madness, I like to pick Wisconsin. At least one of my brackets, I like to pick Wisconsin, even though half the time it's probably not. Well, most of the time it's not happening. But I like to put them in one of my brackets.
Wisconsin's known to break our hearts when it comes to sports. But we're both sports fans. So
Bucks got done though in the NBA. 2020.
Bucks in 6, baby.
Get it
Bucks
done.
in 6.
Glad I was alive for a Bucks championship. Hopefully more to come.
Same here.
With Giannis, they most definitely have a shot at getting many more. So.
They can keep them. Gotta keep them.
Yeah. No, but I think we'll end it out now. So, thank you again, Cody, for coming on to the podcast. We really enjoyed this. Hopefully, we can do some more episodes together in the future.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. It was fun.
It's a pleasure and an honor to host you on this. As the away sideline, signing out is your boy, Matt Crowley, a.k.a. Matty Icy.
Cody, do you want to sign out for us on the home sideline?
Of course. On the home sideline, we got Brett Stock Golf and King's Customs signing off. Go Pack, go.
Okay.
Go Pack, go.
Skull. All right. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Stay safe.
Peace.